You send the link.
Yes. Wants to load a little slow for me. Posted it in the group. Can you see it there?
Yes.
Because for some reason it's not letting me send
Some,
you.
sometimes when I share it from this page, some people say that they can't see it. Maybe it's because they're not friends with you, and that's where you're broadcasting to your page. I'm not sure.
Let me make sure it is. Let me make sure it's public.
Okay, yeah, and I can share it from there.
Viewer dashboard. That's interesting. I'm struggling to dog on. Oh, here we go. I edit the audience. Yeah, it was set to my friends. All right, cool. So that's good now. And then now I will drop it over. I still can't. Do you care if I just put it in Zoom for you real quick?
That's fine.
All right, cool. Because I can't get it into. Got it?
Yep, already.
Okay. Sweet. All right. That took long enough to get started, but I got a question. Today. At what age were you when you discovered you were aimlessly walking around this earth for years and years and years? Right? What we're talking about today is legacy. Welcome to the Gens. Welcome to our podcast. I am your host, CJ, and this is the wonderful crew. We got Kyra, we got Marcia, we got Johansson, we got Kelly doing some amazing things. And today we're gonna dive into that interesting topic of legacy. This one really it had me for quite some time, but I ended up having a conversation with a mentor of mine, and I'm just super excited for this conversation. How about y'all?
I'm excited all the time.
I love it.
You know, I'm ready.
Awesome, cool beans. Well, look, I'm not even going to start with what does legacy mean to you. No, I'm not going to start there. We're not going to start there tonight. Where we're going to start is what legacy are you leaving right now? What is the legacy today for you? Anybody want to kick it off?
Today, like today.
Like today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, like up until 8:08 Eastern Standard Time, 4/29, 2024. What's your legacy?
Right now.
Hard work. The grind doesn't take days off. Legacy of not complaining because it's too hot, not complaining that it's bad weather, not complaining that ain't nobody call me back. The grind continues regardless to whom or what. The legacy of not making excuses when it's convenient, the legacy of knowing that I got to be better today than I was yesterday. That's what I'm leaving for today.
I like that, Johan. I love I love your legacy for the day. So let's see. Today, the legacy that I left, I want to agree with him and say yes, hard work. Let's see what else. I no, maybe learned some things. I shared some wisdom. I kind of had this legacy conversation with a friend earlier this morning, just kind of getting her perspective. So just kind of, listening to her and sharing, what I was thinking. And I want to say that's all my legacy for today.
For today. I'm sorry.
Up until today.
Right.
Up until today.
Up until, yes.
I want, yeah, up until today.
Well, definitely leaving some wisdom, as far as to my daughter and newly inherited children as well, where my husband and I both are working on some things to leave behind. And always working harder every day to build things up as far, financially, and as far as education is concerned. That's something that's being worked on in this household. And spirituality, always building that. So that's where I am up till now.
Ooh-wee. So up until today, legacy for me is a couple of different things. So I'm going to start with the family aspect because I am the oldest living female in my family at this point. My mom's gone and my grandma's gone. And what I found was that all the old photo albums don't have names next to them. They don't have dates next to them. So part of what I'm trying to leave as a legacy for my family is making sure that as much information as I have about our generations, our family. I update our photo albums. I started recording my dad talking about his life because now that we have technology, it's not just oral conversations that are passed down, oral, um, stories. I started recording him and I record myself talking and giving out, like Kyra said, some wisdom so that when I'm gone, my grandchildren and my great grandchildren can hear my voice, can hear what I hope is wisdom to them. And so there's some other things I do, but that's kind of like the first thing, to make sure that they know where they came from and their stock. And part of the hard work that I do, they can actually hear my voice. And, I record every time I wash my car, I do at least one recording. So I wash my car like 3 times a week. So I call them Car Wash Chronicles.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite things to do. I don't know why. I just love my car getting clean.
Me too.
Okay. For me, what it was, my legacy up until today is people know me as I'm the first one there and the last one to leave. Right? I'm the one that's gonna be, helping you set up. I'm the one that's gonna be helping you tear down. I'm the one that's, taking out the trash when I'm a guest, right? I'm that person, right? I have my kids do it along with me. I'm a server, in many, many, many different ways. I can't shut my mouth about the things that I know that are great, and I share them to the world. Um, I would hope that the people that are, no, not hope. I know what I give, right? I know what I give. And that's just that, right? My legacy is up until today, besides those people that I have ghosted, um I have made people feel great when they come into my environment, right? That's the thing. I make people, if you come into my environment, you stay in my circle long enough, you're gonna feel great. That's just that. Because I'm not gonna I'm not going to wallow in anything, nor allow those around me to wallow in anything as well. So, for me, if anything, it's the feeling that I have left those, in my family, those that are my friends, those that have become my family, over time. So, yeah, that's up until today, and I plan to do much, much, much more. Right? I didn't mention too many tangible things there. They're there, but I look at the feeling over everything else personally. So with that, with that, I heard a lot of people talking about leaving to their children, right? Leaving to their children. Is that the most important part of your legacy? Is your family your legacy? What extends past that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And, for me, initially, yes, you want them to be able to pick up what you put down, so to say, right? And because that's kind of like the next coming of you or the next generation of you. So you want to kind of like instill them. But legacy for me is for them, but it's also for the other people because they're not just the only people in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's other people that I want to leave stuff for. And when I say leave stuff, it's not necessarily like money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that you talked about the feeling because when I talk about legacy, I talk about, for me, it's impact. You know what I'm saying? And one of the first questions that came in my head was, who determines legacy? So that's kind of just been kind of bouncing around in my head. Me, as I'm here, just because I feel like I'm doing something, is that going to be received? You know what I'm saying? So am I dictating my legacy or somebody else to some degree going to dictate my legacy? But to answer the question, it far exceeds just your loved ones, the people who are with you, so to say, day to day, right? So it's about being, as you would, you serve it, being a good steward, right? That could be looked at and that could be kind of put together in so many different ways. And so just, hey, that's that guy I see in the gym. He's always polite. He always has a smile. You know what I'm saying? He always brings good energy. He always has something positive to say. That adds value to that individual, to that space. And that might take them, they might cure cancer. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I mean, your impact is felt far greater than you, but I feel like how I feel like I could be the catalyst for something great for somebody else. That might not be one of my loved ones. Just my thoughts.
I agree. I think I've always said that I try to influence my circle, like my small part of the world, right? So part of my impact, as you guys know, because I am in the safety and self-defense space, part of my impact is being able to help individuals become more empowered to protect themselves. And by doing that, if I'm dealing with moms and aunties and the women, then they can bring that home to the younger generation so that we can impact the space in helping eradicate domestic violence, helping women be less victimized. So I always am a person who has a lot of isms that I don't like, and it became overwhelming at one point because I wanted to be in this space and I wanted to be in another space and another space. And I was like, you have to take up whatever it is that is the most important for you and help change the circle that you're in, like your circle of people. So I think like to Johannes' point, like when they see him in the gym and he's like he's encouraging or he's making sure he's cleaning up behind himself and he's making sure that people know they're supposed to clean up behind themselves. That sort of thing, like making sure that I'm not only teaching my children what I want them to know, but they're closer to me so I can teach them more different things and more things. And then they also are pieces of Marcia that go out into their respective worlds and positively influence and leave a legacy in that manner. Hopefully, leave a positively.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
absolutely. Absolutely. I know I can go back to, like you're saying, your day-to-day interaction with those around you. And me personally, as a singer, then I find that I can make an impact just on delivering a performance, and people will come up to me afterwards. And then there are times when someone may say something to me months later, oh, I'll never forget that time, that you did this performance and it just really touched my heart. So, that's something I really enjoy when I do a performance, being able to connect with the audience, and you're hoping that you're making an impact when you do that, which is why I'm careful about what I choose to sing. Sometimes you just want to sing a feel-good song, but there are times when I want to deliver a specific message. So I often think about that when I'm preparing for a performance.
I love it. Music touches people on a completely different level. And
Mhm.
regardless of age or gender or nationality, music can touch people in so many ways. So you have an awesome gift to share.
When it hits you, you feel no pain.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right as far as language is concerned, because there are plenty of people who do not speak English, but they can sing a song in English that they learned. And they, and I can remember I watched a Japanese series one time. I had a Japanese roommate in college, and it was not subtitled. I watched the entire series, and I'm sitting here having these different emotions, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know anything they're saying, but it's just that the acting they portrayed, and that's the same thing that music can do. The words are important, but sometimes it is just a connection of the emotion or that feeling that you can portray to the next person, even if they can't exactly understand what you're saying. So that's important too, body language and just whatever. How are you representing yourself when you step to someone? Sorry, I might be a little off topic, but
No, it's not.
No, not at all.
Gotta love that. Gotta definitely love that. You really do have a great voice though. You know what I'm saying? I think you gotta, I know we're going backwards, but I just had to say that just real quick because
You do.
because I'm thinking about what might have seen the other day and I was like, okay. Like good stuff right there. Good stuff right there.
Yeah. So, all right. The name of this podcast is The Gens, right? But it's our authentic selves. So we talked about the good part of our legacy, but there's also the yin and the yang.
Right.
So let's be a little bit authentic as well, right? All those other things were authentic too, but some of the other stuff, right? And I'll tell you, for me, I'll kick this one off. I can absolutely be seen as a butthole, right? Absolutely, 1000%. So many people know me as that. Um, I can be seen as maybe a little overbearing, um, from time to time. I can come off as I have anger issues, from time to time, because if thing I become really impatient, right? And so that impatience, comes out as anger, from time to time. And so that is it is a part of, what would I be remembered by, right? Because some of those things are the very reason why I am in the other ways too, right? So because I am impatient, I serve. It's like, all right, well, the food ain't ready to come out. Well, hell, you need somebody to help cook it. You need somebody to help fry it. You need somebody to help do this, right? Or it's time for everybody to go home, and we can't just leave one individual hanging out in the dark, doing this themselves. All right, well, I'm a little pissed off about that, but I'm gonna do something about it, right? that anger also becomes something that people will see as, "Ooh, yeah, he cool, he nice, but um, and I own that, right? I own that. I don't just blatantly just flaunt it or anything like that. I'm not I'm not super proud of it, but I will say I absolutely own it. And I will tell you this, I am a lion's lion, right? I really am. I am a lion's lion. What I mean by that is a lion has that, the roars, the king of the jungle, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, all of us met through Eric Thomas, and Eric Thomas talks about this. Someone said to him, well, ET, the lion, sleeps 20 hours a day. But he's like, yeah, but that other four, right? That other four. And I will tell you, so I actually told a coworker this, which I felt really weird about saying it, was I said, well, I told him the lion story, and I was like, look, if I'm a lazy person. I'm lazy. I'll just tell you that right now. But when I'm up and about, nobody can beat me. That's just it. Nobody can beat me. Um, but when I'm out, I'm out. And so I was telling them that because I remember this one saying that if you want to get something done efficiently and fast, give it to a lazy person because they'll always find the easiest straightforward way to do it. And that is exactly me. So I became a programmer and I programmed the things out of my life that I don't want to deal with anymore. So those are a few things that are a part of my legacy as well that may not seem as sunshine and rainbows, but dark and gloomy. But I can tell you right now, they're the ones that create the entire ecosystem of what my legacy is developing into being. So I extend that to y'all as well. Get a little bit authentic with us. What else is a part of that legacy?
Sometimes I feel like people say that I have an attitude, and there's a certain group of people that were left with this impression of me, and that's it. Like I at one point I was just like, you know what, like I didn't really care like what people thought about me. Like I felt like if people were dishing it out, they could also take it. So like here's me treating you the way that you're treating me. And that I mean, it's out of my character now that I've grown and like I've learned, but like I mean I do have the legacy of treating people the way that they have treated me before. Some people know me as just like the quiet girl that just comes and just hangs out in the corner. And like honestly, that's how I am. Like I'm a very observant person. I like to look around and just kind of see what type of people I'm hanging around, like wanting to know if this is the type of people that I want to maybe like associate myself with or continue being around, and like if that's the direction that I wanted to grow in. And so like sometimes I'll come in and I won't say anything, but like whole time I'm just trying to figure out like who you are. And that it kind of was helping me figure out like maybe how I could open up, or if it was a safe place to open up. um and so I do feel like some people do have impressions of me that are different just because of my gauge of like maybe the safetyness in that. But like to combat that, I'm here. I'm talking and I'm telling my stories. I'm able to. I'm trying to use my voice and encourage people to know that they can also use their voice and like speak up and communicate and even like learn how to communicate.
Yes,
That's what's
yes.
You
good.
know,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What do you think?
no, I love the fact that you give yourself an opportunity to feel out the space before you decide how and when to engage and with whom. That's like a really important thing. I don't think that's a negative thing. Um,
Mhm.
Sometimes people like me be like, what's she plotting? Because we're not used to that. Some of us surround ourselves with people like us, right? But that's good because and on the flip side of, what could be seen as a negative, I have no filter right? I will speak, and then I'll be like, I don't know if I should say that. I'm getting better at it, but my daughters have told me I'm mean. And I'm like, I don't feel like I'm mean. I feel like I'm giving you the real honest answer, right? So, and in that and that, like, even, my daughters who know me probably the best and the longest out of most people, they're like, but mom, you just say, yeah, because I need you to understand, like, this is what it is. This is how I see it. And in some of that filter, you have to, um it's helped me in some cases because I used to be a comic. So people without filters can be comics and we can say whatever we want on stage, usually, and find a way to make it funny. But if I see something that is, I'm very blunt, right? So as an example, when I worked on the ship, I would get complaints a lot. And my boss came to me and he was like, what's up with these complaints? I've seen you, I've watched you, you're engaging, you're fun, da 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 da. And I said, because I will tell people you can't go on this ledge because the guys are cleaning it. And they told me, don't let anybody come out here because otherwise they're just going to slip and fall. So I don't have time to give you flowery words like, ma'am, please stop so you don't get hurt. You can't go out there. And so I would get a complaint because they said, well, Marcia's not friendly. In a situation in which I'm trying to save your life, I'll eat that. So that's kind of like the flip side of, the fun Marcia and the helpful Marcia. But like, I just will tell you straightforward. I don't use a lot of flowery words. I don't use, this is what it is.
Love the authenticity.
Tell it like it is. Tell it like it is. For me, I'm sarcastic. I'm sarcastic a lot. Yeah, very much so. And, sometimes, it's like people that, what I'm saying, I guess that around me, they, it could rub them the wrong way, but I guess I don't see it sometimes, so that's one of my things. Also, sometimes being the smartest person in the room. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the brains be battling. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you want to pontificate? Well, let's go. So it's just like, and sometimes people be like, yo, you mad arrogant? Like, yo, you so cocky. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, just for me, it's just learning how to like really be mindful of it, be aware of it, and temper it, and not feed so much into it. Because some of it's ego driven and things of that nature, and some of it's like, oh, well, you're not gonna act like I'm not smart either. I got some intelligence. So, but through conversations with folks, it rubs them the wrong way. And so, just understanding that. And for me, it's just understanding the environment and just knowing that, not everybody is gonna like it, but also sometimes it's just dictated upon the environment that I'm in. So that's the lessons that I'm learning with it. But when you've been teased for so long, like that's kind of how, I'm the youngest in my family. So it's like I had to come with the comebacks, so it created a sarcastic me. So it is what it is.
Sarcasm is a superpower. I don't care what nobody say.
Okay. No, that's right. That's funny.
Yes, for me, I probably accused of being a goody two shoe. As far as I'm just thinking of a legacy, what's out there about me. And yeah, I mean, I mean, y'all know I'm a nice person. I'm a spiritual person, and I don't think I walk around telling people how they need to do things, but maybe I do more often than I don't know. I mean, I really don't feel like I'm doing that, but I mean, I am who I am. So, if I'm in a situation and someone's making a choice, it depends. I'm a quiet person too, so I'm not necessarily just jumping out there. But if we are working on something together and it's a situation where I'm expected to have an input and someone's making a choice I don't agree with, then yeah, I'm gonna say, well, I don't think that's how that should be done, or whatever. I mean, as a matter of fact, my husband and I probably have many conversations like this. You know, he's a different kind of person than me, of course. So he's like, you know, he automatically like will react to something because he's quicker to get agitated or angry, and you know, and it takes a lot more for me to get to that. So, and sometimes that's good and sometimes it's not, because there, like I've said it before, there are times when you need to react to something as opposed to be so laid back. But you know, that's my personality, so it's not always the best choice. So, you know, just knowing when to react or knowing when to speak up about something is something that I could improve on. But I know I'm known for that, you know, and I'm not gonna say my daughter takes after me with that. She does not, but she does not. But yeah, but I guess that is something that I could say I'm known for, or you know, and on the other side of that, perhaps I can be taken advantage of because people, well, at least people think that I can, you know. They may, well, Kyra will do it, or she'll accept this and that. And so there are things that people will try with me that they won't try with someone else because they feel like I will let them.
Mm.
So that's, you know, that's an area that I would need to work on.
So in a space where you are referred to as goody two shoes, is it are there situations in which you would see someone doing something? Because the first thing that came to my mind was like snitch or narc.
Right, right, right.
Right?
No,
Like,
that's
okay, so no, listen, calm down. But like people will be like, you can't do anything around so and so because she'll rat you out, that sort
yeah.
of thing, right? Or is it a situation where if you see something going down that is definitely something that you ain't about, are you just gonna like walk away and be like, y'all have at it? Is are either of those kinds of
Yes,
spaces?
it's not necessary. It's not really the snitching thing, but
Mhm.
it would be more of me. Yeah, it could be a walking away, or mainly me saying something to them
Mhm.
about their choice, you know, or asking them, you know, why are you doing it that way, or why are you responding that way,
Mhm.
or I may tell them, you know, not really telling them what to do, but you know, just perhaps trying to advise them on another option that they don't want to hear.
I'm just trying to figure out how I need to move in our space together.
Uh-oh.
Look.
Uh-oh. Look, I think it's really important. Um, you know, I didn't say too much about me changing my buttholeness, right? I'm not changing it. I am who I am. This part, that's another reason why these things are here, the yin and the yang, right? The create and the inspire, the way that they are color balanced. Is I understand it and I accept it and I'm proud of it, right? Because one feeds the other. And that's just that. Am I going to evolve? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not going to evolve just because I'm running away from what I perceive as a negative about myself. No, we made of atoms, baby. We got positive and negative, neutrons and electrons running through our bodies. So that will show up. And that's just that. I don't need to change nothing. I'm proud of it. That's the legacy up until today. But with that, how are you evolving into that, right? Oh, none of this one's hold on. Let me take it back. Because I actually, as talking about evolving, I actually ran into a conversation doing research on this. An idea sparked in my mind through a mentor of mine, and I'm asking, what is legacy? What does that mean? This person has done amazing things in life. And their response literally was like, you know what? It's not anything that I really thought about. But here it is. This person has made other people tens of millions of dollars, provided so much value in so many people's lives. I mean, I love all of y'all, but I don't think any of us have done this level of providing to people, right? And here it is, this person of what I call much, very successful, not just because of the money, but because of the impact that they have had on others in their dreams. And here it is, this person is just now thinking about over the age of 50 and like, nah, I never really thought of it. It was always about being in the moment, becoming more of who I am so that I can serve the world more. Not becoming, something that the world needed me to be, but becoming more of who I am and knowing and recognizing that the people that I serve will show up. So what I'm asking here is what do you think about that? Do you think that you may spend too much time thinking about legacy? And it becomes analysis paralysis, or it's like, hey, I need to get better at this, or I need to change this about me, as opposed to being in the moment and becoming more of who you are.
Feel like it's
I
both.
really-
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just in the conversation that you have with your mentor, where they said, I haven't really thought about legacy, but then they specifically defined something that was legacy, I'm confused.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Explain.
even though they said, I hadn't really thought about leaving a legacy, but the definition they gave you was how legacy works, like
Right.
being more in the moment and helping other people. That's how it works. Like,
So
No, they said that that's what they do. They weren't thinking about, how can I do that tomorrow? No, this is what I'm doing right
Oh.
now. I'm not thinking about it in the future. I'm thinking about it in present tense and present tense only.
yes, tomato, tomato.
you know
I
what's
mean,
it?
So this is, so you got onto, this is a group think thing, right? What we didn't ask was, what is legacy to you, or what is legacy to another person?
So and that's what I was about to begin my answer with which is both, because we're in a, I guess nowadays you hear legacy all day every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I just feel like you hear about it so much, you can't help but to think about it. But as each individual on this Zoom, as we continue to like go through and follow our purpose, this, that, and the third, we have to be in the moment. Like, we're trying to create different, different things, this, that, and the third. So we're in the moment for those things. I don't think that, it's the vain part of, I'm doing it for my legacy. Like, we're doing it because it's like, we kind of understand that, we're creative beings. We can create things. So you kind of got to be in the moment of that. But on the flip side, it's like, we're creating our legacy each and every day to some degree. Like, my last name is a legacy. So what I'm saying? So when I was born, like, legacy was, what I'm saying? I was attached to something. Each person here was attached to something already. So you either have the ability to add on or destroy that legacy to some degree. You know what I'm saying? And then, as in each individual, you go through life creating in the moment. And that's why I asked the question, who determines your legacy? Because it's like, I could say all day, I'm this great person, but if the world doesn't see that, if the world was impacted another way, that's how the world, to some degree, might see my impact, might see my legacy. So as I'm doing this thing, keeping my head down, trying to create, trying to build, business, whatever, my impact to some degree might be looked at from other people, that might be defined from other people. You get what I'm saying? While I'm in my moment, other people could be defining my legacy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because when you think about like your legacy, it's anything that you do. It can be the impression that I left on the lady at the grocery store. It could be my neighbor. It could be
Facts.
that I saw at the pool yesterday. Like, so yes, like building onto it, I could be super nice to this lady and she can remember me for that. She can be like, oh, like, there's Kelly. She had these nails that I like, or she had this and she said this, but then the next time I see her, I could be a completely different person. I could be, showing up as maybe the rude Kelly, maybe the old version of me. And she'll be like, okay, well, hold on. That's not who I remember. So that's building onto it. So I just think that when we're thinking about legacy, we can't think about Like, yes, everyone in this group has big goals, but not everyone is trying to reach out and touch the entire world. Like, it's like who what's the legacy that we're leaving, in our circle? What's the legacy that we're leaving, to the random people that we see too? Not everyone is trying to reach out to the world. I mean, it's very good, and it's very like, I mean, I appreciate the fact that we're all trying to do that and leave that type of impact on people, but I think that we do have to talk about the people who aren't trying to go that far.
I think, so I think two things can be true at the same time, right? So, um, in the and I'll use myself as an example. There was a point in time where I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and I've changed paths and careers a while. And I said I think I want to be a comic, because I people told me I made them laugh, so I want to see if I can do it. And I was able to do it. And then it wasn't because I wanted to have some great impact on the world. It wasn't because I wanted to, necessarily, some comics say I want to do it because people have so much on their minds and I want to help them laugh or whatever. I was just like, let me just see if I can do it. And then when I did it, let's see if I could create something else, like a different kind of joke or a different kind of space or whatever. So in that space, I wasn't thinking about leaving a legacy per se. I was just trying to see what kind of talent or gift I had at that moment. So, and then when I realized that there was a gift that I have, and then I could hear people laugh when I specifically wanted them to laugh, then I was like, oh, okay. So and then people came up like Johannes, like you said, they came up to me afterwards and they were like, oh, this was a really good joke and you made me laugh and you made me do this and you helped me with this or with that or whatever, just like you, Kyra, with people coming up to you after you sing. You're like, oh, someone else has defined what it is that I'm doing. I'm just living my life. And then someone else has come behind me and defined, oh yeah, this can be a legacy that I'm leaving behind. And even most recently, I had put something on my page because I said a lot of people don't know that I used to get paid for this. And now y'all sending me to HR because I tried to tell y'all a joke. And someone commented and people commented and it was like, yeah, you were really funny and I appreciate it. And nobody has made me laugh or nobody makes me laugh like that. So there's that impact that where I was just living my life and then someone was like, this is how it made me feel, or this is how you helped me in a certain space.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely, can see that and definitely, respect all of it, right? And so it just got me to, as this conversation was coming up, it just got me to think, okay, all right, well, what is this? What has it been for me? And was that intentional? Right? Was I being a part of groupthink and adopting what everyone else is thinking around me, around this particular thing, and challenging that, right? And let me go into other rooms and see what is the group think over there, right? What does that look like, right? And so to get new and fresh perspectives on it all. And that is typically how I is one of the ways that I evolve is to get out and to get into different rooms, right? Get into different cultures, different way of thinking, different everything, right? Like leave high school and go into the Marine Corps, go to Iraq and spend time in Spain and Australia and all kinds of places, right? And to understand what things are, right? And then even in life, life after that. And so it's just coming up with, am I still thinking the way that I was thinking? And is that serving me to where I want to go, right? Because I am extremely mission focused, and sometimes it's very important for me inside myself to challenge the things that I've been thinking for the last 10, 20 years. Because I need to offload some baggage. right? Those kind of things. And so is it in the thinking, right? Like, am I thinking too much on going into this room and leaving this impression as opposed to just being the impression, right? That's where I was kind of going with that. And I looked up the definition of legacy as well, what the Webster definition is, and it says the long lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. And that's that it and reading that, right, it does kind of bother me a lot when I'm dealing with folks from my past and our only conversations is about what we did.
Mm.
Right.
People will only know you from when they knew you, bro. Like that's so real. You know what I'm saying? It's like and please hold your thought. It's like people will really just how you were in high school, how you were in college, and how you know, etc. And it's just like, yo, bro, I've evolved, I've grown, and it's just like if you only remember me from that, have you grown? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, whose growth are you worried about most? Your own or the person that's saying they only know you from when they knew you? And it's just like I feel like it's a choice, you know. Getting older is inevitable, but growth is optional, right? And so people have the right to not grow. As crazy as that might sound, and it might not sound crazy to everybody, but people have a right to be who they are. You know what I'm saying? They want to just rest in, you know, yo, I was the high school quarterback. I threw 10 touchdowns in one game. That was their moment. You know what I'm saying? And people usually hold on to things that made them do what? Feel good about themselves. And maybe life hasn't, you know what I'm saying, evolved for them in that space. So they hold on to something that made them feel good. But what ends up happening is life continues to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like life literally goes on. And, you know, to your point, you know, people will, they literally will just remember you from that time and sometimes not even have the capacity to even believe that you've grown. You know what I'm saying? That you've taken that step. You, especially if you see people from, you know, maybe you go home, you visit people and they're to some degree staying in the same space. They feel like, yo, you the same way. And what happened? You know, like what's different? And it becomes a thing. So that's a tough one.
Well,
That's
where I was going was it's just
I went left, my bad.
just people they just live there. Not
Right.
about where they see me, but they
Oh,
just
okay.
live there. They just live there, right? And that I'm very bothered by those environments where it's just, you know, all you talking to me is about 1990. Like, dude, that's gone. Right? The
People get
past is
stuck.
the past, right? Like what are we
Mm-hmm.
doing today? Right? What are we doing today? So you know, take that. You know, what I had some other notes. Yeah, what are you doing today? What are you doing today? Tell me that. What are you doing today?
Talking to y'all. Nah.
That's that
I love
sarcasm.
it.
You
Well, I actually was talking to CJ earlier today, but trying to make some headway on some real estate, and so I reached out because he has
nice.
knowledge in that area. So that's something I'm working on today, and in hopes in building more of a legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to CJ too, and he was
Well,
giving
now I'm
me some
jealous.
knowledge on
We
how to
talked
make it
last week or the week
better.
before.
Some more,
Don't do that.
yeah.
But
But
it's this circle is great, and not just this circle, but we all have other people in our circles that we had, that is great to be able to build, to help someone build their legacy. If you have the knowledge to pass it on, then fabulous. As long as as long as the person is actually well, you can't control what they do with what you pass on, but you can only hope.
Mhm.
You can hope.
Kyra, do you think that you could do, just hypothetically, like a 2-hour class and teach some folks how to sing?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done a class, so to speak, but I've done voice lessons. I had to do that as part of my, when I was in school, I had to pick, and I got a friend who was interested, and she volunteered to be my student. And I had to do so many weeks of voice lessons with her, and my teacher had to see her progress. So yeah.
So if people in our audience just wanted some voice lessons, would you do it? Would you impact them and leave a legacy on them?
I could do that.
Oh, okay.
Could do that.
Okay. Nice. So what else? What are we doing today? What are we doing today to what are we doing today? What does that look like? And you know, Kyra's doing many things. I know the rest of us are doing many things. I could talk about them, but I want y'all to talk about them. What are we doing today?
Self-developing, getting better, right? Like really developing the the best version of Johans. Like it sound, you know, it might sound corny, it might sound cliche, but I'm really working towards being the best version of myself. And today it's like you gotta, like each day you wake up, what do you have? You know what I'm saying? You gotta, you know, you got a hunt in your heart to go out there and go get it, or you like, you know what? I'm gonna chill, lay back today, you know, just not do nothing. And it's just like I'm really searching and looking to create the next phase of life. You know what I'm saying? So whether that's, you know, doing this, like this, right? Like, and I joke like I'm talking to y'all, but like for real, I'm talking to y'all because this has become part of my legacy, if you will. It's part of the evolution. It's part of what's gonna be left behind, so to say, for somebody to pick up and be like, yo, they was silly. They was, but they spoke some truth. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like what we're looking to do here is to provide truth and to really, you know, impact folks. So we're in turn started a legacy without really, you know, but it was collective minds like, hey, let's do this, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing what we was gonna become, but hey, we did it. And here we are. So every day is like just well, today, because we're talking about today, but today was just like, yo, just go get better. Like, what can you do today to go get better? Went to the doctor today, gotta go get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure that I'm aware of if there's any challenges, you know, I need to know about it. So, like, in every facet of my life, just get better, you know, spirituality, you know, things of that nature, making sure that I'm just getting better. Like, there comes a point in everybody's life where it's just like, you know, you either are comfortable where you're at or you just want more, you know, and sometimes that can hit us multiple times in our life. And I'm glad that it's happened to me multiple times in my life where it's like, yo, I just want more. Like sometimes you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's just like, yo, like something gotta move. So yes, I'm gonna put energy into me. I'm gonna put energy into my children. I'm gonna put energy into my friends groups, put energy into, you know, creating the best version of me, but also creating my future. So that's something that I'm doing today to create. So I know your mentor was like, yo, be in the moment. I'm in the moment, but I'm also thinking about the impact. You know what I'm saying? About what it's gonna do and what I can possibly do. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to impact people, you know what I'm saying? But I also understand that I'm impacting myself first, and then we go from there. So that's where I'm at with it.
I'm a go at you, man. I'm gonna go at you
Hey,
because I get that. I used to get that a lot,
okay.
right? I want to better myself. Well, young man, go better yourself. Young man, go do some self development. Young man, you should, you know, just want more.
Hmm.
More of what?
Mm.
Better how? So get super specific with me, man. Give
Okay.
me a gift. Get not just me, but everybody on this panel, everybody that's listening in, because I felt you,
Hmm.
but I feel like you can go, you got something that's much deeper because I know as a young one, and I'm still there too. It's like, you know, no, get specific with me. Tell me
Hmm.
something. Yeah, what is it?
So I gotta every day I work on my mindset because I'm a laid back individual. I could easily be a procrastinator. I could easily be a person who forgets things and is just lazy. But I have to work on my mindset to say, one, affirmations. I have to talk to myself because like I recognize that I've seen a lot in my short time being here. And it's like I see like this world. Like I always say is like my life is, I would say it's a beautiful struggle, right? And struggle not in a bad way, but struggle in sometimes you got to go through life so it can teach you. This quote that I heard probably last week was saying, sometimes you got to fail a test to know the answers. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, like that was so profound because it's like a lot of times we study to get an A, but the only time you find out what's actually right, sometimes if you don't know, you got to get the answers wrong to figure out what the right answer is. And so if I'm being specific, I'm talking about bettering how I see myself. If I'm talking about being specific, I'm talking about when I look in the mirror, what does Johan see? What do I want to see? And is that a big gap? Is that a small gap? Right? Because in order for me to be the best version of myself, I have to see myself better than what I'm currently seeing myself. So if I see myself as this procrastinator, that's not what I want to be looked at. I don't want to leave that legacy for myself. I don't want to implant that into my thought process, my words, my habits, et cetera, et cetera. So nah. So every day there is time where I talk to myself. I'm gonna talk to myself in the positive. I'm gonna figure out if I'm sitting down too long, let me stand up, let me move around because I don't want to get too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actively doing things to make myself uncomfortable. I'm making sure that I don't want to make the same mistakes in life because, and I don't, maybe one episode we'll get into all of the mistakes I've made in life, but, but not necessarily right now. But I feel like when you make the mistake over and over again, it becomes a choice, right? And so I don't want to make mistakes. Mistakes are a part of life. Mistakes means that you're doing, but the same mistake done over and over again, it's a choice. Now you're choosing to be this way when you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You're choosing, like, I make the choice sometimes to be sarcastic. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like sometimes I don't have to do that. So if I'm presenting myself in the best version of Johan is a positive dude, he's inspirational. Sometimes I gotta fall back on being that sarcastic person, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, but I'm wanting to better myself in that space. You know what I'm saying? If I'm talking about being a better parent, I gotta not just sometimes just be there. Sometimes I gotta actually ask those questions, spend that time, whatever the case might be. So it's levels to bettering oneself to me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm always reaching for something because I don't ever want to feel like, yo, I got it all. So if I could just, I want to be a better reader. Like I want to be a better, I want, I want to be a better executioner of all of the different ideas that I have in my head. You know what I'm saying? Execute. We talk about that word, and that's one of my words for 2024, bro. Execute. There's a list that I wrote down beginning of January that has the different goals and things that I want to do for this year. Some of them things ain't been checked yet. So I haven't executed. So I gotta every day literally look at myself, Johan, you didn't do such and such. Not to be down on myself, but to just say, hey, you still have time. Today is a new day. You woke up this morning, today is a new day. Get after it. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I look at it. I hope that helped. You know what I'm saying? But
It did. Satisfaction is the demon of success. That's what I got.
Wow. That's real. That's going in my notes, just FYI.
Right.
I'm taking notes tonight too, so.
Uh-oh.
So for me, I want to talk my specifics for the day. I'm gonna be super specific. Today I woke up and I called my sister and I sang her happy birthday at 6 a.m. I made her smile. Me and her niece, it's my cat, but we sang her happy birthday. And then I took myself in the bathroom and I sang my favorite song and I danced in the mirror. That made me smile. That made me feel better. And then I took some cough medicine because I want to feel 1% better tomorrow from this terrible cough that I've been having. Let's see. I took initiative on a project at work today. Well, I actually created the project. That was my whole initiative. So I can get more information on how to fill a gap. I took an hour to study for a certification exam that I'm going to be taking tomorrow. So cross your fingers. But all of those things, all of them together are like a compilation of me like just wanting to be a better, like 1% better every single day, right? So the things that I did today, like I feel good right now having this conversation and sharing my thoughts. Like I feel good, but like it's gonna feed into how I feel tomorrow and like how I'm impacting tomorrow. The hour that I took to study for my exam, like I'm gonna take that information and share it. I'm gonna, read a book or read my Bible and use that and apply it for tomorrow. So I yes, I do want to make like, a big impact on the world and I want the things that I do to influence people. But like for me, that starts with like what are the little tiny things that I'm doing today? Like what if I didn't call my sister this morning? Like how would her day have started? I mean, I'm sure somebody else, that's our thing. Somebody else in our family would have called and told her happy birthday, but I'm the one who woke her up and let her know. Like, I'm the one who made myself feel better. I'm the one who, is starting a project and is identifying something that people that have worked in my job for I don't know how long, like don't even realize is a problem. So that way when this project is done and I share the information, like we'll be able to reach more people. We'll be able to reach a different demographic of people. And I can say that like, that's the legacy that I'm leaving. And whether they take it or not, like I can tell myself that even though, they don't think that it's helpful, it impacted me because I learned some new information. And so me just being able to, learn information and share it like that, I don't know, that was super important to me.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
That's dope.
Thank you.
Love that. Love that.
Absolutely.
For me, going back to like the initial question of like, what are you doing today? Um, Johannes, I got kind of tired listening to how hard you're working because I'm not working that hard. It's like, it's like, okay. But in that vein, I am wanting to continue to create momentum in the things that I am doing. So every day I am moving the needle or completing tasks towards my goals. And some of my goals is to make sure that I'm resting the way I should. And some of my goals are to make sure that I'm spending time with my family the way I want to. So in going towards looking at the legacy that I might be a part of or that I'm leaving, like just make sure that I am continuing to move forward, whether it's in like Kelly said, reading, making sure I'm reading my Bible, or making sure I'm helping myself stay positive when they made my flight 45 minutes late and then told me they were going to put my luggage on the flight going forward. And when I got to my final destination, my bag wasn't there. It's fine. I'm okay. And then when I got my car out of the parking lot and it looked like somebody carved their name in my hood, I'm great. I'm fine. I'm doing great. Right. So, like, making sure that I am keeping myself up and positive even in the face of adversity and still moving forward on the other tasks that I have to do, regardless of the negativity that gets thrown my way, whether it's, you know, a, a bad phone call or a bad situation or whatever. So I think that just that part of, to your point, Johannes, like making myself better every day, but also keeping the momentum of positivity going. And how can I do that? How can I do the self-talk? I'm fine. It's great. or, you know, move, doing the things that I need to do regardless of what's going on. So I think that's important too for like we were talking about our listeners, because what legacy means to each individual is different, as we've talked about. Like, am I doing something on purpose? Am I not doing something on purpose? Am I just living my life and other people are telling me what my legacy looks like and how we're moving the needle in whatever way we want to do? And so I think just me continuously moving forward in those spaces is what I'm doing today.
And I know if I'm being completely honest with myself, I have felt some disappointment in myself
Mm.
as being the eldest of 8. I feel like I'm supposed to be in a different place in my life right now, you know, as far as my accomplishments with my either career or my music or my finances, whatever. I feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else by now as the eldest, you know. And then my dad passed away a couple of years ago, and there are certain things I would have liked to have accomplished for him to have seen me accomplish before he left us, you know. So that weighs on me sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean, I usually the message that I hear that comes after that is it's okay. You're okay. You are where you're supposed to be. And you know, God is looking out for you and everything. But I'll tell you right now, let it burn. Right? Let it burn, because them coals get hot and you might need to move, right? Johan said it a little bit earlier, and I was gonna call it out. I'm hearing Marcia call out Johan's a whole lot more, and I'm feeling like it's the bald headed thing. But but Johan said, he said, you know, you're basically, self knows when self is tired enough. You know what I mean? You'll get sick and tired, right? If you aren't now, you know what I mean? I think you are, because you're doing things that you haven't discussed, talking about, you know, singing, and you're doing a lot of things. And I do think that you're moving. But if you're not seeing those things as as progression to you, then that means that you're not satisfied, and that's okay. Go for whatever satisfaction looks like for you, right? And then by the time you get there, you still won't be satisfied. Keep going, right? Because we're always about evolving, and that's okay, right? Go for it. Freaking go for it. Um, for me, what am I doing today is I'm doing exactly that. Exactly what I just did to you, right? I'm doing that to everybody that comes into my life, because I'm trying my best to do it to I'm trying to do it to myself in my own life, but then also recognizing that, you know, you're probably, the therapist needs a therapist kind of thing. The coach needs a coach kind of thing. And so I'm surrounding myself with the people that have done the things that I want to do, right? So that I can learn and evolve, right? And become, you know, aware of what those things look like, right? I was definitely gifted, not necessarily gifted, but when I went into the Marine Corps, my first roommates, I went into the Marine Corps at 17. And so, and I have a later birthday. And so I didn't turn 18 until I was like, you know, done with boot camp, right? So 3 months of boot camp and I was just turning 18. And then so I immediately went over to, you know, get roommates with other Marines. And these guys were like 25, 26 years old, you know what I mean? And they had experienced some life. Some of them had prior military. They had been in since they were 18, and here they are 25, 26, you know, 8 years in and stuff like that. Um, but I was being around this older crowd. Yeah, I was influenced in bad ways. They were buying me alcoholic beverages when I wasn't allowed to buy them myself. But at the same time, there was that more years of experience in doing things that you know were I was privy to. And so I wasn't making, you know, stupid moves. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to sneak in the club. I was able to just get in the club because I was going with the crew, right? You know, it was interesting in all aspects of life. I was learning a lot very fast because I wasn't just hanging out with people that were of my age group. But now that I'm older, it's not about the age group per se. It's about what those people are doing, right? What things are they welcoming into their lives? How they've been doing these things in their lives long enough, and I want that to be a part of my life. And so I put myself in those situations on purpose, right? And I know that they think different than me. Otherwise, I would already know them, right? um, and so that's what I'm doing, today is bettering myself by way of putting myself in the right situations where I can, learn and grow, right? I know that I'll have to be the dumbest person in the room for some time. And that gets me to Kyra. I'm not satisfied with that. I'm not satisfied with that. But I do understand how that makes me level up too. Right. And so I'm doing that. Obviously a lot of tangible things, right? Coaching people, helping people as much as possible, being a best doggone dad I can be and husband that I can be. When they allow me to be, because my definition of the best is, a version of me to them isn't their best, isn't the definition of what they think I should be as the best to them and stuff like that. But quite a bit, right? And then just for one, being open to evolving. Somebody said something a little bit earlier today. It made me think about this message that I heard a couple days ago. But I'm making sure now and forever forward that I make decisions and not choices.
Mhm.
And what it was the difference between the two, or at least in this context, is a decision is something that you literally go out and pick, right? It's something that you have not necessarily thought about it too much, but you've scoured, right? And you took a look of the lay of the land, and then in the sky, and then under the ocean, and then you made a decision and you cut everything else off. Versus a choice is literally, hey, someone gives you, hey, left or right, and then you choose between those two. You're confined within this box. And so what I'm doing is to make sure that I'm not putting myself in a situation where I have to choose between what's given to me, but making a decision on what it is that I actually absolutely want. So being very intentional is where I'm going with that. So that's what I'm doing. And eventually, I didn't say the word legacy, but I would think that trickles over into the legacy that's left behind. Yo, we got pretty deep tonight, I would think.
Yeah, we definitely did.
What didn't get uncovered? The ball-headed thing.
Listen, bruh.
Wait a minute.
Is it
I'm
because
like,
he
yo.
has dreads? Come on, man. Like I can't grow hair. It's a disability. What?
Oh, not the disability.
Oh my goodness. Y'all funny, man.
Oh.
That's too much. That's too much.
I just want to say that means for the listeners tonight, if they don't know what we're talking about, it's an inside joke. So they got to look at our last podcast. They got to catch up on it.
That's a fact.
Bam.
Because we are building momentum. You see how I put that in there?
Hey, okay.
Right.
Don't ride the wave, be the wave. I see you. Okay.
Love it.
That's
love
what's
it.
up.
Love it. Kelly, yo, hit us with some logistics and some admin stuff, about the podcast. Where are we? Where's the group? And where do we want to go?
Okay, so this is episode 7 of our podcast. I'm so happy for us. I set a goal. I'm running our Facebook group, so I set a goal of 100 members. And we're at 102. I'm looking at the page right now. So shout out to all our members. Yes. Shout out to us for making it, to these episodes. I know we're a little bit nervous before, so I am definitely proud of everyone. I do have a new goal for the month, which we will talk about later. But yeah, just keep joining in, share with us if we are adding value to you, then I definitely think that we can add value to other people. So please share our podcast. We have our Facebook group, the Gens Podcast at Our Authentic Selves. And then we're also on YouTube. Same thing, the Gens Podcast. You can find us. We do have a new logo, which I will post. I'll actually just pull it up on my phone. Hopefully everyone can see it. Okay, just kidding. It's on the iPad, but I'll post it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, to the listeners that's out there, look, we have been going, getting really authentic. I think with everyone, and I know that I have been influenced in a great way listening to all of the speakers here. Phenomenal messages and everyone bringing their experience, and it's a wonder. If it's a wonder, to me, I hope it's a wonderful to everyone else as well. And listen, if you want to learn to sing, right? If you want to learn about facials, if you want to, get your ass whooped. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Maybe like show them how to whip somebody else's butt.
There you go. There you go. But they got to come to your class, and then you got to show them by, putting them in the headlock and everything, right? And then if you want to get your step up your financial education with my man Johans, like, drop us some questions, or some conversation starters. We love to talk within the group. The Gens, Our Authentic Selves on Facebook. We're here just like we're here for each other. We're here for you all as well. And look, that's the legacy that we're leaving.
Wait, CJ, I don't remember hearing you shout yourself out. If you want to learn about real estate,
How about that?
Right. If you want to learn about real estate, hit up CJ.
That's
If
right.
you want me to, put you on your face to do 20 push-ups, to make you buy that first property. If you want to learn, you want to learn data and analytics, if you just needed somebody to kind of kick you in motion, look, I'm here. I'll take your phone call anytime. All right, everybody. We out.
All right, bye, y'all.
Peace.